Hey, okay. So, I need a haircut. Oh man, it's one of those things where you see it and you want so badly to fix it as you're filming. So, yeah, I need a haircut. But that's not what this video is about. No, I don't think I've ever talked about this. Marvel. Yeah, I want to talk about Marvel. There's been a lot of... I don't even know the word. I can't think of the word. And, because, like, the Black Widow movie has finally come out. I mean, how many years has it been? And, Robert Downey Jr., there's a lot of stuff surrounding him. A lot of news. Stuff, yeah. A lot of news. And, like, well, let's just say news. And, so, since I've never talked about Marvel, let's talk about Marvel. Yeah, this looks like a camel licked my head. And, so, yeah, let's talk about Marvel. um, Now, apparently the Loki TV series, again, what is that? It's gonna bother me this whole thing. The Loki TV series is going. I have heard some people say that it has like this Douglas Adams vibe to it. Okay. it had better. Being a big fan of Douglas Adams. Okay, this would bother the living shit out of me. This is the thing, is when it comes to the Loki TV series, is when I went and saw oh geez, that's not working. Okay, we're just gonna have to deal with it. It's gonna annoy the living shit out of me. Anyway, so when I saw the Avengers movie back in 2012, I had not seen the year before the Thor movie, so I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know about Loki, I didn't know about Tom Hiddleston, I didn't know Tom Hiddleston existed, and so I went to the Thor movie and it was a packed theater full of all these girls who were just absolutely in love with him. And so I didn't know what to expect. I just figured, it was one of those that, because, I'm a comic book nerd and I knew about Avengers. And not so much Loki. I didn't know that much about Loki in the comics. Excuse me, I'm sorry. So I'm in the theater and Loki rises up, of course, from the ground, and I'm like, is this a good guy or a bad guy? Well, of course, these girls squeal. And they're like, oh my gosh! And I'm like, okay, is he good or bad? Well, then all of a sudden he's got this glow stick thing, and and I was the person that was the annoying person. It's like, what is he good? Is he bad? Do we hate him? I don't... Look, when I saw Goblet of Fire, Harry Potter Goblet of Fire, there was this woman who was sitting, like, down over here with her husband. She had never read the books. And she's like, well, who's that guy? And he's like, he was so annoyed. He was like, that's Harry Potter. Oh, well, who's that? He was so ready to throw her out of the theater. Like, just leave. Get out. So, I was that person. I was that lady. And so I'm sitting there at Avengers, and when Loki, like, flies and, like, hits the guy, the doctor guy, the scientist, with that glow stick, I'm like, oh, okay, we don't like him. But these girls are like screeching. The pterodactyl screech. My friend, and I'll get to him. My friend says that pterodactyl screeching, which, why do you do that? That's so annoying. Do you not understand? It's great to like somebody. You know, I'm a fan of a lot of things, as you can see here. We all know about my Newsies obsession, but you do know what you come across as to other people, right? I mean, it's just when you're screeching in other people's ears so that they lose their hearing, it's just not okay. So they're doing that, and I'm like, dude, he just possessed somebody. That's not good. Why do we like him? He's the bad guy. I was so confused. So so anyway, so that was, yeah. That was my introduction to Tom Hiddleston. And and I've just despised him ever since. Yeah, I can't stand that guy. Anyway, so yeah. So there's that. But oh, I can't wait to see Christian Bale in Love and Thunder. Actually, I don't know that I'll see that. I don't care. This same friend. Okay, I've been saying for a while, I was like, I can't wait to see Christian Bale and Russell Crowe in the same movie. I had totally forgotten about 3:10 to Yuma. That was like the most forgettable movie ever. It's good to have friends that remind you of things. Because, yeah, I'm just going around, I'm like, I can't wait to see them in a movie together. And then it came out that Russell Crowe was going to be in this Love and Thunder movie. And and I'm like, oh yeah, they're finally going to be in a movie together. And he's like, I gotta be that friend and tell you that, that they were in a movie together. And it was 3:10 to Yuma, and I was like, oh yeah, they were in that most forgettable movie ever. So, Marvel. Now that we've gone way off the rails. And this is the thing that I want to talk about with Marvel is, first of all, I feel like people make fun of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man just to make fun of it. You've never seen it before. You just meme it to death because that's the thing to do. It's like it's been a thing to do for the past 10 years, so just do it, you know. As Shia LaBeouf says, do it. Stop it. Maybe actually watch. You know that Bruce Campbell, the guy from Evil Dead, and yeah, from those horror movies, he's in those movies, and in all three of them. And I mean, 95% of YouTube uses the newspaper tycoon guy in. Yeah, the guy laughing, that's in the. But yeah, let's make fun of it today. See, this is the thing about Marvel is the Black Widow movie has come out and everything, and it's not making the numbers that Disney wants you to think. Wow, big surprise there. I'm sorry. You know, you can defend it to high heaven. Just, no. They tried to do the same thing with Gem and the Holograms, and I mean, when you're pulling a movie from the theaters and trying to say, yeah, no, it's no. So, uh, the Tobey Maguire movies really aren't that bad, especially when Tom Holland uh, threw back to Tobey Maguire. Those Tobey movies. He was doing an interview, and he pointed out that I don't even remember. I think he was on Conan, and he was showing where there's like that whole scene where it's showing uh, Toby illustrating the suit, and Tom Holland made reference to that, and so I don't understand why you have to make fun of it, of it. Oh, it's not canon. First of all, I hate that word. I hate the whole. Why can't you say it's part of? I don't even know why canon is. To me, canon is a is equipment for war. And it's a weapon. Uh, and when you say head cannon, that just blows my mind. I don't even know what that is. And don't explain it to me. I don't care. You're just making up words to make up words. To be trendy or cool. I don't care. I just don't give a shit. And but I anyway, you know, they have their fun. Look, I remember sitting in the theater watching the emo dance and like, what the hell is this? Now the third Spider-Man, I have all three. Okay, I have all three of them. I went to the theater to see my friends, and I even talked about this with my friend. I said, I remember when these movies came out. I saw all three of the Spider-Man. I saw all three of the Iron Man movies with Robert Downey Jr. And but the thing about the third one with Tobey Maguire was that it was a teaser for the Venom movie. We were going to get a Venom movie, and we were really excited. The thing is that it never came. When it finally did a few years back, it was my brother went and saw it, and he said that it was such trash. He was like, this is what we waited for. He's he was like, wow, they should be embarrassed that they even put it out. um I mean, like I said, I mean the emo dancing and everything else. I mean, uh, yeah, Toby hammed it up a lot. I mean, he overacted big time. And we made fun of it. I mean, I remember sitting with my friends in the theater, and we're like, tone it down, Toby. And but that series was actually Toby's big break. I mean, I remember talking about The Wiz. He was in that. He was uncredited and everything. Nobody really knew who he was, and then he played Spider-Man, and that really helped his career take off. He was in quite a few, like he was in Seabiscuit, and which is a great movie. I absolutely recommend that movie. And so it just and to be honest, Kirsten Dunst had been in several, like she's in Interview with a Vampire. She did several other movies, and that movie, you could say what you want, but she actually did pretty good as Mary Jane. And so Toby and Kirsten were a good pairing, and and Willem Dafoe was a fantastic Green Goblin. I mean, the people that they chose to be the villains were fantastic. I mean, Doc, I can't think of his name right now. I see the face and I can't come up with he was Alfred Molina. Alfred Molina was Doc Ock, and he did fantastic. The Sandman was a little corny, but again, the third movie was corny in itself. And I mean, again, with the but the entire series was really not that bad, and especially when you're using the newspaper tycoon in your, I mean, like I said, 95% of YouTube is using that laugh. You can't make fun of it when you're using that every time you need to reference a laugh. So obviously, yeah, and and that guy was a fantastic choice for the cast, for casting, and he did a good job. But again, I feel like you guys never even watched the movies. You just make fun of it because you think that's the thing to do. Stop it. Just stop. And again, Iron Man. This is the thing about Iron Man. Somebody pointed this out, and I was like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. When they first mentioned making Iron Man, the general public was like, they were making fun of Marvel slash Stan Lee. They're like, don't do that. And for what reason, I don't know. I have no idea. They were making fun of him for that, and maybe it was because of the fact that he decided to cast Robert Downey Jr. Everybody remembered Robert Downey Jr. for his, for his troubled past, and here, Stanley was bringing him back and everything, and so people were saying it's not going to work. Well, it worked. I mean, the first Iron Man was phenomenal. And people were flocking to the I remember going to the second Iron Man. We couldn't wait for the second Iron Man because we decided after seeing Spider-Man, we're like, I guess we'll go, because we had completely forgotten about Robert Downey Jr., to be honest. I mean, I remember seeing Weird Science when I was a kid, and because he's in that, and everything, and so I was like, I guess I'll see Iron Man. It blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind. And I was actually telling my friends to go see it. I was like, you've got to see it. Just go. And and we were talking about it at the venue and everything. And I mean, it was, and so we couldn't wait for the second one. I mean, we were, and then of course there was Fantastic Four with Chris Evans and Jessica Alba and and that one didn't really do that well, at least around here. I can't speak for, I mean, it was like, compared to the Spider-Man movies with Tobey and Robert Downey Jr., it kind of fell flat around here. And so it didn't have the flair and pizzazz, I know, wrong choice of words, that that the other two superhero movies had. Iron Man 2 comes out, and I mean, we were just, again, blown away and everything, and just, yeah. And I can't remember, I should have checked before I sat down to do this. I can't remember when the First Avenger came out, and I don't remember if it came out before Thor. And I'll check that and put it in the description box, because honestly, I don't remember, because I've talked about it before. My life was spiraling out of control by the end of 2008 and in 2009 and everything. And so if it came out during that time, I have no idea. But anyway, now there was, of course, the Hulk movie. The Erik Bana Hulk movie. The thing about that movie, and my friends and I, because we went and saw that movie, and I remember walking out of the theater and we're like, what did we just watch? That movie came out because it has Liv Tyler in it, and of course Erik Bana. Now, Erik Bana was in Troy, and if you remember, with like Brad Pitt and Orlando Bloom. And then, of course, Liv Tyler was in the Lord of the Rings movies. And so my friends and I came to the conclusion that Marvel wanted to make a movie using these two people. Who knows? Maybe they tried to get one of the other characters, because, of course, Orlando Bloom was a big star at the time. And maybe they tried to get him. And it was, anyway, whoever, maybe they tried to get somebody, because Erik Bana, why him? Nothing against Erik Bana, but it just, everything about that movie was just so weird. And it didn't, anyway, because even one of my friends, he was like this huge Hulk fan, and he's like, I will never watch that movie again. They tried. They really did. But you also consider there was also like Elektra and Daredevil. Look, I would watch Daredevil again. With as bad as it was, Daredevil was actually that actually teased Elektra. Of course, we had Bennifer at the time, and kind of, I guess, I don't know. It seemed like there were two Bennifers happening during that time, and it was so confusing. It was a confusing time. But so anyway, actually, I think that was, well, anyway, I don't think that was Marvel. Anyway, there were so many comic books. But yeah, honestly, I would watch Daredevil again. With his, it was a terrible movie. And then the next thing you know, there's Elektra. Elektra was not that good of a character. It really was not. I mean, the whole movie itself was terrible. Absolutely terrible. And Elektra's character was so flat. Quite honestly, I remember at the time we were talking about how Kingpin should have had a movie instead of Elektra. That would have been great. I would have loved to see Michael Clark Duncan have his own Kingpin movie. And rest in peace, Clark Duncan. Oh, I miss that guy. I miss seeing him in movies. And such a talent, gone too soon. But anyway, but this is the thing, is and if I had known that Thor was in theaters, I would have seen it, but I was busy with college. College was it. I had the blinders on, and that and I think the funniest part about that is that I lived across the street from from a movie theater. So I don't know how I missed that. Anyway, but you had all of these movies coming out, like the Toby Spider-Man, and the one Hulk movie that we just, poor Erik Bana and Liv Tyler. I mean, it was just And like I said, I would even watch. I mean, the soundtrack is fantastic for Daredevil and Elektra, but and, and everything. And you had Iron Man, and I know that I'm probably missing a few, but and then of course you had Avengers. The first Avengers movie was amazing. I loved it, even for not knowing what exactly was going. Who is it? Who is this? Who is this guy? And and everything. And then it was like after the first Avengers movie, things started to, because then you had the second Thor movie, and I was underwhelmed. It was like basically, because quite honestly, I was impressed with the Loki character, because then I did watch the Thor movie, and I'm like, this character is kind of a badass. And then it's like then he just turned into, I didn't like him. He's just being slapped around and just not intimidating at all. He was, compared to the to what he was in the other two movies, it was like, wow, he's just a punching bag. And I have to agree with my friend that when it came to Winter Soldier, they introduced Bucky. Now, in the comic books, Bucky is basically a sidekick to um, Captain America. He's like a kid. He's a kid. I looked it up, and he's not an adult. He's a child. He's not an adult. I mean, they bring all of these characters in, and it's that's something that I learned with all the classes and seminars for writing, is if you bring too many characters in, it confuses the reader. It confuses, it's just confusing altogether. But that's what Marvel is doing. And then they have to make these TV shows so that you then understand these characters, and they're spending way too much money doing it. Like, here's a thought. Don't make these characters. Quit it. Oh my gosh. Ugh. I mean, ugh. It's just, it's just ridiculous. I mean, oh my heavens. Because like I was saying with Winter Soldier, they spent 15 minutes tearing up a highway. This is what my friend said. They spent 15 minutes tearing up a highway with Bucky. Bucky's entrance was way too long, and he's dressed like Gerard Way. Those of you who know what I'm talking about, there's this photo shoot where he's wearing the bulletproof. I think the whole band is wearing a bulletproof vest, and like when he said that, I was like, I remember that photo shoot, and so that's where I remember it, and he's right. I mean, so it was just pointless. And then he said, did they ever explain how Natasha knows Bucky? I don't think they did. If they did, it was way too quick. I mean, it just and that's the problem, is that the important details that you need to know are just kind of in passing. You know, why did they make Hulk and Natasha, I mean, it was like this shock thing. Like, I understand the whole thing with kind of giving a teaser for her backstory, because then we get this Black Widow movie, but they took forever to give us this movie. Just like Love and Thunder. They announced this movie like in 2018, I think. It's 2021 now. How much longer is it going to take? And they keep announcing more people are part of the cast. It's just going to be a jumbled mess. You know, just like I said, you add more characters to it, and it's just, why? It's going to be confusing. You don't need all of these. And Thor Love and Thunder, this is Norse mythology. Why is Russell Crowe playing Zeus? That's Greek. I just thought of that. That bothers me. And it should bother a lot more people. Like, I have all respect for Russell Crowe. I love Russell Crowe. But that concerns me. Like, why? Why? But yeah, so you know, coming from someone who used to absolutely love Marvel and everything, I pretty much checked out with Age of Ultron. I really checked out with Doctor Strange. I waited all year to see the movie, only to find out that I couldn't. They didn't even put a disclaimer on the movie. You know, I again, I'm epileptic. I suffer from seizures. And they didn't even put, I mean, with the animated films, they did that. Like with which one is it? The second Incredibles movie? They did. But with Doctor Strange, they didn't do that. So if I had gone to see the movie, I could have ended up in seizure. My brother saw the movie and he told me absolutely not. Do not see this movie. So I waited all year for a movie I couldn't watch. I was very angry. And and I let them know. Which I'm sure it was ignored. They're like, oh, whatever, just being dramatic. Because that just sounds like, you know, their ignorance. They don't care. You know, why does it take so long to put a movie out? The fans have been waiting so long for the Black Widow movie. They've been waiting a long time for a Hawkeye movie. And we're never going to see it because now the fans hate Hawkeye. Why do the fans hate Hawkeye so much? Why? You know, that's the thing, is I didn't see Endgame. You know, after I heard this whole thing about this time travel or whatever, I don't even give a shit, you know? Why are you doing that? Anyway. But, why do you hate Hawkeye? Why are you attacking Jeremy Renner for something that a fictional character did? There's a disconnect there. Oh my gosh. Oh. But he was the only character that was like, that made sense. Like, oh my gosh. I mean, like, Tony Stark was like the most arrogant son of a bitch you ever met. Doctor Strange, again, was arrogant out of his mind. He could care less about his patients until he had that accident, and even then, he didn't care about what the being said. Captain America, yeah, he was humble and everything, but even then, he had his problems. And Natasha was an assassin. She used everybody. She even used Hawkeye. Banner, I mean, he he had like depression or something. He just, and Thor was an airhead. And look, if you look at the actual mythology, Thor was an idiot. He was an absolute idiot. And Loki was just out to kill everybody. Did we miss anybody? Hawkeye, he just okay. And yet everybody hates him. Why? Tell me why. As the Backstreet Boys, tell me why. Holy shit. He even covered Scarlet Witch's ass. And he even said, all I have is a bow and arrow. Fuck. Oh, but anyway, so, yeah, like I said, this is the first time talking about the Marvel Universe. You can, I don't, again, I don't care. As Green Day says, I don't care if you don't care. But, when it comes to Love and Thunder, even with Christian Bale, there are a lot of movies that Christian Bale's in that I don't even know. I didn't know that he was in a magician movie, that Prestige. And, I think the only magician movie I've ever seen is that Tony Curtis one, the when he plays Houdini. And, but yeah, I don't think I'll see this Love and Thunder because there's just so many things. I've never even seen it, and there's just so many things. Zeus. Why is Zeus in a Norse mythology movie? That there's just a problem with that. And again, I love Russell Crowe, but it's just so many things wrong with that. And plus, why is this is supposed to be about female Thor? Why is Chris Hemsworth in it? And so I don't know. I want to support him, but I don't think I can. And so I hope you understand. I can't even talk. I'm so frustrated I can't speak. Oh. And but and when it comes, I wanted to watch Loki. I heard someone say that the Loki TV show, it has like a Douglas Adams. See, I can't talk. I can't. I'm so frustrated. But it has like a Douglas Adams vibe to it. And that's my friend told me that don't do Douglas Adams dirty like that. So, I mean, like I'm a huge fan of Douglas Adams. And I saw the movie in the theater, the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which has Martin Freeman in it, and it has Warwick Davis and everything, and I actually love that movie. And it was actually, you could say what you want, but I thought it was actually really good. So, but the thing is that if you're going to say that something has a Douglas Adams vibe to it, you better. But I've seen bits and pieces of this Loki TV show, and I'm not seeing Douglas Adams vibes. I'm sorry. But you know what? I do have to agree with, I think it was the neurotic, and I hope I'm saying that correctly. I'm sorry if I'm not. That people are going to watch this show because of Tom Hiddleston. You know, he plays the character well and everything. And so, yeah, I mean, that's the bottom line. But so anyway, now that I can't speak at all, I don't think I'll be watching the TV series. You know, but when it comes to these TV shows, I see what people say about them, but you know what? It takes watching them to really say, and I haven't seen any of them. And I don't really watch TV anymore. I'm too busy playing video games. And but he is right. I think it was the neurotic that said that people are gonna watch for Tom and everything. And when it comes to Spider-Man, you know, take the time to actually watch. I know but we made fun of the emo dance too, and everything. But everybody has their favorite Spider-Man. I will say that. And everything. But you do have to understand also, before I close up, because this is long, that there are a lot of superheroes. Like, there are radio shows that of like even the DC characters like Batman, Superman, and everything, and Wonder Woman, even the, like I said, the DC characters, and there are TV shows from the 40s that show these characters and everything, and like I've seen for Captain America and everything. So yeah. If you ever get a chance, and I'll close with this, if you ever get a chance, there's a TV movie. They used to show it after Saturday morning cartoons. And this particular Captain America, he was dressed like Evel Knievel. That was my introduction to Captain America. And so, I mean, we all knew who Evel Knievel was. And my generation, we knew Evel Knievel. There were some kids who had the toy and everything, so we were well aware of who Evel Knievel was. And this particular movie is from like 78, 79, and they would show this movie after Saturday morning cartoons. So I think he was the last one before Chris Evans. So when you're making fun of this particular fellow who took over after Chris Evans, I don't think that's really fair. I mean, it's like, you know that somebody's going to take over these. The person can't play forever. Cesar Romero is not going to play Joker forever. You know, he knew that somebody was going to take over. He knew that, you know, I don't think anybody made fun of Jack Nicholson when he took over after Cesar Romero. You know, I think somebody took over before him. Anyway, so anyway, that's what I have to say about Marvel. Like I said, used to go to the rush to the theater all the time, and now it's kind of like it's dying, and it makes me sad. So, anyway, those are my thoughts.